Thank you for joining us, and let me apologize for starting this behind schedule. It's as a result of what happened in the United Kingdom, and we promise to keep you up to speed as that news develops. It's the midweek edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. Today on the Hangout, President Buhari meets with service chiefs, orders investigations into Benue killings. Senate condemns Attorney General's intervention in the customs uniform saga, asks Ali to resign. Later on the Hangout, multiple bombings rock Maiduguri, Benue State. Joining me today are Mojid Jamiu, Femi Odere, and Otumba Yomi Olomofe. So if you're ready, Journalist Hangout starts now. On Monday, the story of horror and sheer act of terror crept into the history books of Benue State again after a week of fragile peace. A bright day at Zakibiam International Market in Ukom local government area in the state ended with bloodshed. Reports say 30 gunmen clad in combatant uniforms showed the worst in humanity as they struck Zakibiam Market and ruthlessly massacred 52 people. Today, Benue State is on its knees again. In the last 1 year, the state has been maimed, bruised, and hurt by herdsmen. As at August 2016, Premium Times, an online publication, estimated that the herdsmen had killed at least 1,269 people in Benue State alone. 1,269 people in Benue State. Out of 23 local government areas in the state, the rampaging herdsmen invaded and occupied 14 in 2016. It's a pathetic story. President Muhammadu Buhari has condemned Monday's attack and has instructed security agencies to commence immediate investigation. When will these senseless killings end? It's so unfortunate. Yomi, let me start from you. We had the Agatu killing. I think last year, yeah. And former Senate President, I remember when he actually paid visited Agatu and to do kind of on the spot assessments, and he was close to shedding tears. And since that time, Benue has been in the news for problem between the herdsmen and the local community in Benue State. How did you get to this place?
Well, we all are here, living witnesses, and we have seen this horror, this macabre developments creeping in on us. First, let me say that it is an extremely condemnable act. It is inhuman, it is godless. And I think we must, at this stage, advocate very seriously for every hand to come onto deck. Every hand must be on deck at this time to put a stop to this senseless, unreasonable, illogical acts of genocide going on in Benue State. You will recall that the President Muhammadu Buhari, summoned the service chiefs. Unfortunately, we are seeing discordant tones. The chief spokesman for the president, Femi Adesina, made a release. He issued a press release following the meeting of the service chiefs with the president, saying that the president has condemned in strong terms and has given a marching order that this spate of killings, not in Benue alone, Zakibiam as it were alone, even the killings going on in Kaduna, the president had come out, according to Femi Adesina, in very strong terms, and he has read the riot acts to the service chiefs. Unfortunately, we are all witnesses to how the service chiefs are trying to, play that meeting down.
You wanted them to say the president actually read the riot act?
No, I would have expected them to look at the seriousness at hand and speak to the nation along those lines.
Femi Adesina is a professional. I think the service chiefs are not PR professionals.
No, it's not even about PR. It's about looking at the seriousness of the matter at hand. If you had a meeting with the commander-in-chief, it behoves you to tell Nigerians that, look, We have just finished with the, how can you say it's a routine? How can that meeting be routine in the face of 50 persons at least lying dead? I mean, I don't think, I think some more seriousness ought have been attached, you know, to the meeting between the Chief of Army Staff and General Buratai and the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar Sadiq.
Femi, gunmen stormed the Benue market and killed 52, others injured, and the governor vowed to, you know, bring these perpetrators to book, and he has been spitting, you know, fire in the last 48 hours. That is Governor Yotom.
Well, let me start by saying that the governor has a right to condemn, but the reality of the matter is that does the governor really has the power to initiate anything that he doesn't want in terms of making the lives of his own subject to be secured?
Can he
in
secure
terms
them?
of, you know,
Can
so
he
can he
secure
secure?
the
And the
life of
answer
their
that we
subjects?
all know is that the answer is no.
Doesn't control
now,
the police.
let me go back to the President Buhari's condemnation. It is good that the President has condemned, you know, this ungodly act. And it is also good that he had ordered investigation into the killings and all of that. But the question we should be asking ourselves is that when will these stopgap measures end? How many investigation, how many orders of investigation is the president going to initiate every time there's a killing in any part of the country? I think we should be looking at the general, you know,
lasting solution.
You know, this lasting solution about all of this, you know, because it the security situation in this country is just unfortunately so bad, and the earlier we begin to realize the enormity of the task that is ahead of us, then the better for us. The fact of the matter is that why should even the security organizations in the country even wait for the country, I mean for the president to give them a marching order? These are something that they naturally, you know, should step up and take action. And when you're now beginning to see that, well, you know, they have to wait until the president gives them, then there's something untoward that is going underneath.
No, Femi, don't you think for the military to move in, they will need such order? The protection of life and property within Nigeria, I think it's a natural responsibility of the police.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say that.
Okay.
See, it shouldn't even have gotten to the level of the military first and foremost. The fact of the matter is that don't we have the police force? The fact of the matter is that don't we have the intelligence community? You know, so these are what you can call your frontline security apparatus to begin with. It shouldn't have to even be the military, because the military is basically saddled with external aggression. And when we're now beginning to see the military quelling internal aggression, you know, to the extent that they have stretched themselves so thin, whereas the police, you know, have basically, you know, come to be incapable of quelling the situation, then it speaks volume about our own, you know, security situation. And that's a very sad situation, unfortunately.
MJ, the, Benue killings, you know, wicked and inhuman. That's according to President Muhammadu Buhari, and quoted Femi Adesina saying, and when you look at it now, this herdsmen thing is like a major burden on the federal government of Nigeria. A lot of people have said that the president has not done enough, you know, to nip the menace. That the president have not been on top of the situation. But some of us will know that that is not the case. But if you ask an average, anybody from the South, it will tell you that no, the president has not done enough. From your own estimation, what do you read between the lines?
Yes, I think those who are saying the president have not done enough, they have every right to say so. More than 1,200 people killed within a year.
States.
In a state, 14 out of 23 local governments. And we have a situation where nobody has been brought to book. So the carnage, I mean, they have that courage, they have the audacity to continue to perpetrate these killings, especially the herdsmen, until some of them are made to pay dearly for it. Some of them are made scapegoats. These killings might continue, unfortunately so. And Benue is like a heartbeat when it comes to food supply. And when you take your cattle to graze on farmland, of course you expect to meet with some resistance. And what do these guys do? They start killing those who are resisting the urge of their cattle to feed on their plantation. So I think until we have the presidency gives that directive, probably to the security and the judiciary, to make some scapegoats out of these mindless killings. Until that time, I think these killings might continue. It is very unfortunate, and I wonder why we suddenly become very quick and fast with the use of ammunition in Nigeria. And everything. The last time I checked, it's still not legal to carry arms and ammunition around. When herdsmen have now graduated to, instead of the normal AK-47, no, instead of the normal stick that they used to herd the cattle, now you see them even using more sophisticated weapons than the AK-47. So it calls for serious concern, and like Yomi said, the presidency needs to go beyond just condemning the act. We must have a very, very serious measure. There must be a serious charge to the service chiefs and other security personnel for them to take charge and bring those who are perpetrating these heinous acts into book. Well, I've just been informed now that in the UK now, just one person dead and several people injured, but the whole country, the United Kingdom, is at a standstill now, right now, standing up against terror. But we in Nigeria, we've lost in one state over 1,000 people. And 1,000 people, it's, for us now, it doesn't make headline again. In just one day, 52 people were killed. As at this morning, I think 8 died in bomb blasts in Maiduguri. I think that is like a daily thing now. It doesn't even make the front page of the newspaper again.
Unfortunately so, like we have always said here, if you do not set meaningful, impactful, deterrent processes, unfortunate evil happenings like this will continue to dog us. Over time, people have now gotten used to the feeling that they can do anything and nothing will happen. But we're not in a lawless society. We're close to it, Ayo. If you ask me my personal opinion, we're close to it. If 52 persons are killed in broad daylight, and before that, several others have been killed in times past, and before then, killings have, nobody has been brought to book. No deterrent has been set. These folks who are bent on creating chaos will just feel free to continue to perpetrate their evil. Okay, let me take our first caller for today. Samuel is calling from Lagos. Thank you for joining us, Samuel.
Hello, Mr. Ayo. Good evening.
Good evening, Samuel.
My greeting to your guest here.
Yeah, they're having.
Good evening.
I want to discuss, I watched your news, not quite long now, what happened in the UK.
Yeah.
You can see the way these people come up together. Just only one people murdered. You can see numerous,
the whole country is standing up, the media, all the major international network, they're on it.
No, life of 50 people. 50 people, where are we doing? Where are we coming to this country? Do we even have security at all? I'm out of what? We God that helps us in this country.
Thank you, Samuel. Thanks, Femi. Yeah. After the Agatu killing, the Inspector General of Police set up a kind of
probe to look into it. We don't know if anybody has been brought to justice, of how many people are standing prosecution in this same Benue State.
See, Ayo, again, you can set up probes, you can order investigations, and just as my colleagues have been saying, that if nothing comes out of it, then you are really not doing anything. And see, we should be worried in this country, and we should be really, really worried. We have the Boko Haram that they have the definition of what they want to do. If they want to convert the entire country into Islam, they are very clear about that. You know, we have the militia who are saying that, look, you know, leave us alone, leave our oil alone, and if any of our guys are corrupt, we don't want you to touch them. And
okay, the Niger Delta
we are okay, you know. So they are, you know, those are terrorists that are defined, the terrorism that are defined. But in the case of this herdsman, all we've been hearing is, you know, are insinuations that they want to convert, you know, the lands into grazing reserves and all of that. See, we are not addressing issues in this country as they should have been addressed. And some of our political class, some of the members of our political class, are not even making matters. You know, they are not easing the matters. You can imagine the governor of Benue State that allegedly to have said that, look, guys, you have one of your Fulani governors here now. You know, you don't have anything to worry about, and going to that extent of going to pay the people that has been established to kill his own citizen. Are you following me? So you have to begin to wonder, what is the ulterior motive around here? You know, people have been saying that Nigerians are going to break and all of that, and our leaders are saying that over their dead bodies and all of that, Nigerians aren't going to break. But at the same time, nobody really wants Nigerians to break, don't get me wrong. But if and when it happens, nobody will have any control over that. You know, because of this, you know, why would you say that some people came from Niger Republic all the way from Niger Republic to kill people in the hinterland of Nigeria, and you're saying that simply because they are part of your Fulani group and all of that, you have to go ahead and compensate them, not to even arrest any one of them.
No, do you think people I think the Kaduna State government has debunked that
yeah, because claim. I think it was just a moment of sleep.
Yes,
yes.
It's
a moment of sleep?
I want to tell
let's take it as Ayo said. Yeah. We can now begin to look at the issues confronting us in Benue State.
Yeah. Okay.
How can people come in droves, like 3-4 vehicles, a number of motorcycles, and they escaped like they have come?
Exactly.
And
without any security intervention.
Don't we have policemen?
I have to take this break.
It's sad.
Let's go on this break. When we come back, we'll discuss more. It's still Journalist Hangout, reaching you live from Television Continental here in Lagos, Nigeria. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Moving on now. In the last weeks, Nigerians have been seeing both the Senate and the customs boss sling-moved over the wearing of uniform. The Senate had argued passionately about Ahmed Ali, the Controller General of Customs, had shown the world that it was frivolous. He dared the Senate that he would not appear in any uniform, and yes, he did not appear in uniform. He did not appear today. As the controversy degenerated, the Attorney General of the Federation stepped into to save the day. Today, the Senate adopted a prayer condemning the intervention and declared Ahmed Ali unfit to hold any public office. In fact, the Senate asked Ali to resign. Should uniform wearing overshadow Ali's performance? Gentlemen, we are looking at, there's a lot of power play here. The advice of the Attorney General, Moji, let me start from you.
Yeah, okay.
What did the Attorney General say?
Well, the Attorney General was acting on the fact that this case is now subjudicial. Somebody went to court.
Who is that person?
It's a lawyer.
One Ali Mohammed went to court.
Yeah, one Ibrahim Ali.
Ibrahim Ali.
Yeah,
Jama in Nigeria.
No, he's a legal practitioner.
I think he's entitled to so do.
Yeah, he went to court to restrain the Senate from compelling Ahmed Ali, the customs CG, to appear in uniform. But then I think
even appearing at all.
No, from appearing in uniform. Now,
because Ali will not appear in uniform.
The AG, they summoned the customs CG. Ahmed Ali was served the writ of summons, and also the Senate was served the writ of summons.
So it was so convenient for Ali.
Ali, as a law-abiding citizen, went to the #1 law enforcement officer in the land to seek clarification.
Law interpretation.
Yeah, interpretation. And the AGF, Attorney General Malami, now communicated to both the Senate and the Customs Controller General.
The status quo ante-bellum
yeah,
has been maintained.
To maintain a status quo ante. Now, I think those are just mere
cosmetics and superficial.
Yeah, superficial. You recall that also the APC, the ruling party,
yes,
said it would mediate by inviting both the Senate President and the Customs Controller General, who has said that it won't even go there again. But I think whatever happens, Ahmed Ali should respect the institution of the Senate. Yeah.
That's a point.
Yeah, that one is very key. But also, the Senate President, if it is...
But he did. It appeared once, though. They turned him back.
They said it should appear in uniform. But then...
No, Ahmed Ali, he has been to the House of Rep and the Senate, not once, not twice.
But then...
we have visuals of him.
But then the Senate should also understand that there is a reporting line. It is the Minister of Finance who does all the policy framework for just like for the FRS, NPA, all the revenue agencies, which Customs is a part of. So they should actually.
Majid, are you sure that's the situation?
The Senate should have invited.
Ali is not reporting to the Minister of Finance.
No.
Statutorily, that is the situation.
Yes,
that's the ideal situation.
That is statutory.
But
if he's claiming to be reporting to the president, that is his own. It's not.
That's his own creation.
That's his own creation.
That's outside the law. It's
Ahmed
not known to law.
Ali reports
to the finance minister.
To the finance minister.
Who is the chairman of the customs board?
Customs board.
Femi.
Yeah, my take in this is simply this: that we just have a whole bunch of clowns, in the Senate, and
Papa just
we thought the 7th Senate was a whole bunch of non-entities, so to speak, but things are getting worse. We shouldn't even be arguing whether or not Ali should be wearing uniform, because the Constitution, as they say, is already clear on that. And I wonder why people should just make pronouncements that they know will make them look stupid. The issue of uniform, and Falan already said that the Constitution is already clear. There has not been any of Ali's predecessors, that wore uniform outside of the ranks that were made to be Controller General within the ranks. If Ali had come up within the ranks, then it's a different story. But Ali did not come up within the ranks.
Yeah.
So if anybody should be blamed as to why Ali is not wearing uniform, they should take their case to the president who appointed him in the first place. Anyway, are you following me?
Yeah.
And even besides that, as I said earlier, the Constitution is already clear about that there's no obligation. If he wants to wear uniform, it's a discretionary behavior.
Moji said one thing, that the institution of the Senate should be respected.
But
they are our representatives.
Yes,
we have 109.
Not when they are frivolous.
But this is
how do you gauge
as recently as last week, did Ali not go to the Senate? He went to the Senate, as summoned. Did they attend to him? No. And what's the reason why they did not attend to him? Because he was not wearing uniform. Come on now. When they know damn well that he is not obligated under the Constitution to wear uniform. So you just have a whole bunch of clowns, basically, that we call the Senate, that Nigerians should even be occupying to begin with, because they are not doing what they're supposed to. And look at what is coming out now, that it is not so much about the issue of uniform. It is because this Customs Department impounded a bulletproof vehicle that belonged to the Senate President. And not only did the Senate President not pay the required duty, the papers that were tendered were fake.
But then again,
imagine things like that coming out of the so-called ballot chamber.
Femi, I think my take on this whole unfortunate drama is that we're leaving substance here, largely. Both.
Hold your thought there. Let me just take this caller. Johnson is calling us from Kaduna. Thank you for calling us, Johnson.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Okay, before my contribution, I want to know, where did you hide my uncle? What he told you?
Your uncle cannot always be here. He has other things he's doing.
Okay. Let's start with the issue of the custom boss. I think the president is technically backing this man up. I'm not supporting what the Senate is doing, but as an institution, the Senate. See, let's forget about the wire character of a team. This is an institution enabled by the Constitution, of the land. It doesn't take Hamid anything to respect them. Go there. I know he has been there, but the issue of uniform, he should explain to them why he cannot wear the uniform. If he wear uniform, they have not been, he has just refused to wear it. Yes, not wearing it, we understand. If he should wear it, there will be constitutional lacuna. But he should have explained to them, look, gentlemen, I cannot wear this because of A, B, C, and Z.
He did. He explained. He said that much in this hearing that he's still seeking legal advice on the issue of uniform. I think there is last.
Okay, yes. I read that. When he said so, he did not tell them. He said he was seeking legal advice. Then what was the outcome of his legal advice? So the senators, he should have told them, look, I cannot wear this because of this reason, because you do not permit me, or the act or the law do not permit me. So they will now see what the senators will now do.
Thank you for your contribution, Johnson. I think this whole thing has not been tested in court.
Yes, it hasn't.
Have we ever had this kind of situation?
It may get to that point.
I think this is just what the lawyers will refer to as locus classicus, as in let them go to court and let them.
It's probably going to get there because the way this ding dong is going, I don't see how it's going to. The last time I spoke on it, I said perhaps there should be interventions off record, outside of the public glare, to resolve it. But having said all of that, due respect must be given to the institution of the Senate, no doubt. But I think in this instance, it's important that we don't lose sight of the substance here, which is revenue collection duty. Because what led to all of this, appear before Senate, come in uniform and what have you, is the proposal by the Department of Customs to collect duties and levies on old vehicles and
apparently we lost sight of that.
Lost vehicles.
So
yes, unfortunately,
the thing was elevated
above it.
Yes, to a very ridiculous level.
Unfortunately, I think it should just be resolved. They should look for a political way, really, or somebody. Well, as somebody has just taken the bull by the horn now by going to the court, it should be fast-tracked, and let's hear what the position of the law says about the head of a uniform-bearing organization not wearing uniform. So people have argued that if he could ride customs vehicle branded in customs colors, if he could fly customs jets branded in customs colors, what's the ceremony? What's the big deal about when? But that is, we leave that for legal experts to determine.
Mojid, what we have here now is that the Senate condemns Malami's intervention. Now, yesterday we talked about the need for us to have a viral opposition in Nigeria. Now we have a situation whereby we have opposition within opposition. As in APC, we have opposition to APC's policy within APC. Now, if the majority in the Senate, if they are from the All Progressive Congress, and a government policy, and there's no, middle meeting place that they can resolve this, and to make sure that they form a common front, what are we looking at here?
Before I go to that, I think we need to make this point that the Senate as an institution should not ridicule that red chamber. I mean, are they telling us now that if there's a problem at Queen's College, the principal of Queen's College will be invited and not the Minister of Education? So that's just by the way. Then, in a situation where when an individual is affected, the
principal could be invited.
If
there's a problem in Queen's College and directly
the Senate will not invite the principal.
It's possible they invite the Minister of Education and they invite the principal to get a first-hand assessment.
But then, like Femi said, basically that is not even the issue. The issue is they want to reduce Ali to.
They believe he has heirs.
He has heirs. They want to clip his wings.
He has affectations.
That is it. Because
they want to cut him to size.
Until it is proven wrong or otherwise that Range Rover does not belong to the Senate President. I learned they have set up a probe
panel
to probe themselves. Of course, we know.
And we saw Ali Ndume yesterday. Ali Ndume, I think right now he's not on the same page with the Senate President he has been eased out of the power.
We can almost predict where that probe will end. Now, beyond that, there's also this the Dino issue on certificate where he claimed to have been discharged from ABU. I
think maybe he must have meant NYSC discharge certificate.
Maybe.
Not university.
What I got from Iloni where I finished was a degree, not a discharge.
I'm sure he probably was talking about service year.
And I can name a few of those in my graduating class.
Your colleagues.
My colleagues.
But you're not giving Dino the opportunity we need. And no.
Right language.
No. Actually,
but basically,
he was quoted as saying that he was even the student union president.
Yeah. we will get all of that.
We'll get to that. Now to the issue of the APC, I think there is a chaos in the House. I mean, there is a serious problem because you can imagine that we have a ruling party and all this is happening within the fold of the ruling party. And it's like
majority.
Well, but because we have an opposition that has been taken to the cleaners. So
comatose.
They're in comatose. They are busy fights. I mean, there is a.
They also have
their battle of survival.
Battle of survival.
They're doing their whole battle of survival.
Let me take it from where you left off there, and this is that the Senate is pretty much an opposition to this government.
So it seems.
Buhari has lost the National Assembly. He lost the National Assembly a long time ago. And that's
from inception of the 8th Assembly.
From the emergence.
He lost it from
the
night of June 2015.
So the emergence of the leadership of the Senate.
So they say what is in the name? What is in the name basically is that they are just using APC as a name. But when the pointers, the direction of this National Assembly is pretty much against what this government is all about.
Corruption.
So that we need to have a clear understanding of that. And check one thing out, Ayo. Why is it that when there is this so-called Pyrrhic victory, either from the House of Representatives or the Senate, the leader of any of these chambers, they will go to people like IBB. What is that telling you?
Or article.
So article. What is that telling you? So that is telling you that Buhari's government is not in charge of the National Assembly. Obviously. It is the anti-Buhari, elements that are in charge.
Femi, let me.
And that's the fact.
Maybe what may speak to that scenario is the aloofness of the president. The president, to my mind,
He made a costly mistake.
the president, to my mind, is too aloof from the goings on. And this is why we can all see what is playing out, even in the executive arm, right under his own noses, conflicting reports being issued, people undermining themselves, who are supposed to enhance and project the vision of the president. So I think his aloofness, something needs to be done seriously, urgently, about how aloof our president is to members of the party.
Where are the leaders of that party?
Leaders of the party too.
To add to what Yomi just said, imagine the way citizens who carry valid U.S. visas are being treated in the U.S. They are being
At entry points.
at entry points
in the U.S.
They are being deported and their visas cancelled. Abike Dabiri, who is in charge of diasporas, who is in contact with these people,
Directly.
issued a statement on that after the consultation with the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
No, it doesn't establish if she consulted.
Well, so to say, allegedly.
Okay.
But the Foreign Affairs Ministry came back to say, no, you are free to go to the US. But even after that,
People should
people have-
discontinence that advice.
But worse things are still happening. And even look at the xenophobic attacks in South Africa. How much, what have we
categorical statements or position?
have
No,
come
they've been to
from
South Africa,
who?
and the
It
minister
is
has been to
the-
South
the-
Africa. Him and the Minister of Interior Affairs.
there's a problem within the house.
Okay, let me take this call from Kaduna State. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, good morning.
Good evening, Sani.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, my name is Sani Abdullah.
Yeah, we share the same time zone with Kaduna now. Good evening, Sani.
Yeah, good evening. First of all, I'm a first-time caller.
Oh, Sani.
Oh,
Thank you.
congrats.
Thank you for
Thank you.
making
Yes,
it today.
I'm a first-time caller on January Hangout, but I've been watching the program from inception during the days of Oshomomo and the rest of them.
Oh, you've been following us.
But yes, I've been following the program long ago. So my take is on this Hartman.
Headsman, okay?
Hello?
Yes, you're on, Sani.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yes, it's on this Hartman. You see, it's unfortunate people just base their argument on rumors. You understand? I just understand the man at the middle in brown saying that El-Rufai made social statement and is supporting the Fulani, this and that. You see, so when that attack happened in Benue, does that mean that the governor too supported that thing for them to go out of the state without any notice? That's one. Two, on the issue of uniform wearing by Colonel Amir Ali, I think, like MJ said, because it's one of my fans there, that it's just a knee-jerk reflex that they are doing, because it's purely not about the uniform. It is about the corruption and the seizure of this Senate President's car. That is why they want to get at Bachin. Period. Thank you.
Thank you, Sani, for that detailed contribution there. And where do we go from here? We've had this distraction, as in the first was the Magu's rejection, and in the last 2 weeks, always one distraction must come. We are not celebrating the laws that have been passed. We are not celebrating the bills passed into law. What we're celebrating is that we keep setting this agenda, and we've been with this uniform thing close to 2 weeks now. And the life of an average Nigerian on the streets is not in any way, improved with this drama.
I love where you have just ended. I mean, the quality of livelihood of the average Nigerian, that should be of paramount importance to the Senate, and not the issue of whether somebody is wearing uniform or not. Now, you said this man that you said there is this, it should come and explain this contentious issue of tariff on or duty on
because it's going to affect Nigerians.
And because some said they have suspended that
the implementation of
implementation after counseling from the president. The president advised the customs to suspend it, and it has been suspended. And you are still insisting that it should wear uniform. I expect that a serious Senate should rather compel the Minister of Agri, for example, to come to Lagos and look at the kind of thing the Lagos state government is doing with Kebbi, by how they brought lake rice, and there are some 10 states in the north that can do the same thing, rather than sit down there and be talking about uniform because they don't want to pay duty on the exotic vehicles they are riding. But I think they are just a set of characters that should not be taken seriously.
You see, Majid, I think that is saying that you cannot give what you don't have. The generality of the members of the Senate, and to a very greater extent too, the head of they are not about you and I.
Femi, let me just, what my friend told me before I entered the studio now, and he was saying that INEC just released the timetable for 2019 election. That same pattern that we are going to have the presidential election with the National Assembly election. Right now, an average Nigerian now know the importance of who is representing you.
Who to vote for.
Who is representing you. I think it's good. It's a big deal. And the person was recommending that I think a day should be set aside for National Assembly election, both your House of Rep and your Senator. So you know that, look, this is the person. You will scrutinize the person very well so that we won't end up in this situation that you were describing the representative of Nigerians, that 109 senators, they can't all be the same. We still have some very responsible senators, yes, very distinguished senators amongst them.
Are you asking me to comment on the INEC though?
No. I'm just telling you, because you were talking about our representatives.
Yeah. Or that we still have, see, there's no doubt that there are members that has integrity, that has reputation.
They are the minority.
See, in this Senate, we have Professor Sholade.
Why is it that all the time you hear Dino Melaye talking?
And their numbers are so tiny. And aside from that, let us understand one thing about our National Assembly. It is a garrison organization. You have to fall in line. And if you don't, then you are out. Let's take a look at what happened to Jibril, the man that
Jibrin in House of Reps.
He was kicked out.
It was kicked out.
He's in exile. He's in exile now.
So what is that telling us? What is that telling us is that, look, once you are in these so-called chambers, you got to be in a straitjacket.
It's on his own.
You have to toe the line. You cannot digress. You cannot have a different opinion from the general members. And how well is that going to serve democracy? That should be one of our questions, my friend.
And we still have people like Shehu Sani in that Senate.
Yeah, you see,
human rights activists of refugees
say stuff too that we begin to wonder.
What we must understand is that a Senate, any particular Senate, is as good as the leadership it gets. And unfortunately for the common man, leadership in sensitive and important, crucial democratic institutions like the Senate have always been about themselves, not about the people.
Of course.
And this speaks to some of the things that have come to light about the person of, for instance, the Senate president. How could you be involved in a matter of a Range Rover and stuff, and ever since that matter came to light, how could you not have addressed it quietly? Now they have gone, they want to cow the man in charge of customs to see whether they can beat that under the table or something. And you see that this is at the expense of governance.
Let me take Wale. Wale is calling us from Lagos.
Good evening.
Good evening, Wale.
Good evening. The issue of this reform of Ali, I don't know why our Senate are very petty. These people should face the policy that will affect our lives, not that of people. What's the essence of that of policy of government? I say, why that cause this problem? I say that for everybody work for you to be here. You say you are not for him and you are for everything on hand. Who just came from nowhere, two back door and enter that. See what they are doing now. It's the guy that causing pain for us.
Thank you, Ali. Thank you for your contribution. So, gentlemen, the fate of Ahmed Ali, I want to know the powers of the Senate right now, and they are saying that he should resign, one, and he should not hold any public office forthwith. I
think that's alarming, and that's too wide, and I'm not sure they have such powers, because the matter of the legality of wearing or not wearing uniform is still evolving. It's a work in progress. People have argued for wearing uniform. People have argued against wearing uniform. All of the arguments bear some semblance of reason. I think the courts should determine. And until it does so determine, I'm not sure the Senate has the power to just, summarily conclude the fate of a Nigerian. How can they say he cannot, what have they proven that he has done wrong?
Because he has failed to appear.
How can you say he cannot?
Yes. What's the fate of Ahmed Ali?
Well, as I say, you are entitled to your own opinion, but you are not really entitled to your own facts. So what the Senate says is just a matter of opinion. It doesn't really go anywhere beyond the
advice.
There's an advice.
It doesn't hold water.
You shouldn't even pay any attention to that, because there are other serious issues that they should be talking about.
Apparently, there's a big face-off between the National Assembly, the Senate now, and the executive right now. What is the best way out of this situation?
The Senate should not ridicule the powers and the authority of that red chamber, that exalted chamber. They should stop giving frivolous rules that when they are not obeyed, it becomes a nonsense.
I want to thank you. Otuba.
My pleasure being here. Ayo, nice being with you
nice
again
to have you
this week.
My pleasure.
Thank you. And I'm James Up. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And that is a wrap for today. Join us tomorrow for another interesting edition of Journalist Hangout. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on YouTube. That's youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I am Ayodele Osuba. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.